Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at the 2025 Philippine Senate midterm elections. That's coming up May 12th, 2025.
That's right. And it's a big one. 12 seats are up for election.
12 out of 24. So half the Senate. That's pretty significant.
It really is. The Senate, well, it's the upper house, right? So they have a lot of power. Making laws, obviously, but also ratifying treaties, keeping an eye on the executive branch.
Yeah, major responsibilities. And senators are elected at large, aren't they?
Correct. The idea is that since every Filipino voter gets to vote for them, they should have a national perspective, not just a local one.
Makes sense. But just meeting the basic rules to get on the ballot, that's different from actually being qualified for the job, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. There's the formal constitutional stuff, and then there's the, let's say, substantive qualifications. What makes someone effective? That's what we want to dig into today.
Okay, so let's start with those formal rules. What does the Constitution actually demand?
All right. Article 6, Section 3 lays it out. First, you have to be a natural-born citizen.
Natural born, meaning a citizen from birth. Yeah, not naturalized later.
Exactly. Then, age. You need to be at least 35 years old.
35 on election day.
Yes, specifically on Election Day. Not the day you're proclaimed, just the voting day itself.
Got it. What else?
Pretty basic things, actually. Able to read and write.
Okay.
Must be a registered voter, obviously.
Makes sense.
And you need to be a resident of the Philippines for at least 2 years right before the election.
And resident means, like, actually living there, or something more technical.
It's more technical. The courts have interpreted it to mean domicile, your permanent home, the place you intend to return to, not just, renting an apartment for 2 years.
Right, your legal permanent base.
Yeah.
So citizen, 35, read, write, voter, 2-year resident. Is that the complete list from the Constitution?
That's it. The Constitution is exclusive on these points. You can't just add more requirements legally.
Okay. So who's actually running for these 12 spots in 2025? It sounds like a crowded field initially.
Oh, it was. I think something like 184 people filed initially. It's been narrowed down now to 66 official candidates.
Wow, and they run under different banners, right? Coalitions.
Yes, several major ones. You've got the Administration Coalition, Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas. That includes parties like PFP, LACA CMD, NPC, and bits of the Nationalista Party. Think names like Abalos, Binay, Revilla, Cayetano, Lapid, Lacson, even Pacquiao is in that mix.
Okay, quite a group. What about the other side or other groups?
Well, there's DuterTen, which is mainly PDP members, folks like Bongo, Bato de la Rosa, Marcoleta.
Right.
Then you have KiBam, with familiar names like Pangilinan and Aquino, and Oposición and Bayan, representing the Makabayan bloc, Brosas, Casino, Castro.
And independents. Or smaller parties.
Yeah, definitely. You see figures like Willie Revelam running, Grigo Honasan.
Yeah.
It's a mix.
And some current senators aren't running again.
Correct. People like Nancy Binay, Coco Pimentel, Cynthia Villar, Grace Poe, they're either term limited or maybe looking at other positions. Plus, Senator Angara's seat is vacant.
So vacancies and term limits opening things up. Are the alliances solid?
Mostly, but things can be fluid. Like Amy Marcos, while not formally in DuterTen, has their endorsement now. So you see some interesting dynamics.
Okay, so that's the landscape. Lots of names, parties, coalitions. But like we said, our focus today is what really qualifies someone beyond just ticking those constitutional boxes.
Exactly. Experience, expertise, their track record, what they actually propose to their platform, and importantly, integrity.
Right. Let's talk experience. What kinds are we seeing?
It's quite varied. You have legislative veterans, people who know the ins and outs of the Senate or the House.
Sure, the seasoned lawmakers.
Then there are those with executive experience, former cabinet secretaries, agency heads. They know how the government machinery works from that side.
That brings a different perspective.
Definitely. You also have people from law, from business, some media personalities, and advocates, people known for pushing specific causes or representing certain sectors.
What about formal education? Is everyone like a lawyer or PhD?
Not at all. Some have advanced degrees, sure, but others have built really significant careers based more on, practical experience, street smarts, on-the-job learning.
So how do you weigh that? A PhD versus years of, say, running a large organization or leading a grassroots movement?
That's the million peso question for the voter, isn't it? There's no single formula. Different backgrounds bring different strengths to the table when it comes to making laws or conducting oversight.
And we can't ignore controversies, right? Many public figures have them.
Absolutely unavoidable, often. If someone's been in public life for a long time, chances are they've faced scrutiny or criticism. Voters have to decide how much weight to give those past issues versus the candidate's stated qualifications or plans.
Yeah, weighing the good, the bad, the
Yeah.
experience. It's complex. And the different coalitions, they likely offer different visions, too.
Oh, for sure. Their platforms often reflect different priorities, different approaches to solving national problems. So you're not just choosing a person, but also, to some extent, a direction.
It really comes down to looking at the whole picture for each candidate. Their background, what they've done, what they promise.
Precisely. Going beyond the name recognition, beyond the basic requirements, and trying to understand who might actually be an effective senator for the country.
This has been really insightful. So, for you listening, as you learn more about these 66 candidates vying for the 12 seats.
Maybe the key question to ask yourself is this. Given all the different kinds of experience, the various backgrounds, the past actions, what single quality, what qualification do you personally believe is the most essential for a Philippine senator to have in 2025? Something to think about.